group of 13 people who were a part of the Shiloh Baptist Church of our community decided that a church needed to be in this particular section of town.
There was no significant Baptist church presence in the south end of Columbus around 1907. It was the feeling of the folks at Shiloh that they should start a mission. They named that mission Mount Olivet. The church has continued to exist continuously since that time and has done extremely well.
In the early days, most African Americans couldn't be a part of social groups and stuff, so they formed their own social groups within the church. And from that it grew and they had a bond. It was just a whole different environment being a part of the church.
We had several choirs. We worshiped on Wednesday night at what we call prayer meeting.
We had a basketball team here at Mount Olivet. We had a softball team. We had a bowling team. So anything that you wanted to do, you could come and do it. Not only did we have these teams, we played against other people in the city. So it was an opportunity to get out, to see stuff that you had never seen before.
And those groups had a variety of fundraising efforts that they did individually and collectively.
People enjoyed coming and frying fish and selling dinners and stuff like that because that's what they did. They did it in the kitchens where they worked at, and so they were able to come to church and do the same thing with a sense of pride. And they took pride in what they did.
At that time, banks in the city would not grant African American people money. There was a need then to establish our own financial institution. And out of that need, the Mount Olivet Federal Credit Union was born.
It was about trying to make sure that we could help each other. It took some of the weight away from the church of having to, quote, give things when we could try to make people credit worthy and establish their own ability to borrow money and pay it back appropriately. I think that the people of Mount Olivet felt that it was a privilege and an honor to realize that we had our own credit union, and we'd much rather do it here than do it on High Street.
Now, so many people can borrow money from other institutions. You have banks, credit unions on the job and the like. So after 51 years, we had to forego the credit union. That was not an easy decision to make, but it was a decision that we had to make.
We were committed to helping each other. I think that was a big, big part of why our church was successful, because it was important for us not to let anybody go under, so to speak.
When I came to Mount Olivet, I came with the vision of a strong urban ministry.
The ties that binded us originated with a neighborhood emphasis. And most of the people who went to the church lived within a 1 mile radius of the church.
Now we have people who come to worship and who fellowship with us from all sections of Columbus.
People still come because of the fellowship. They have a bond. They feel like they don't want to go anyplace else. And by any means necessary, they'll get here.
We have a commitment to the inner city. And the historical significance of being downtown is something that I don't want to see us lose, and it's been beneficial.
Even though we originated as a neighborhood church, times do change, but our spirit, our core doesn't change.
We just have to keep talking about the church, and we have to keep instilling it, generation after generation. When I look at where Mount Olivet has come from, those 13 members, and every pastor has stood on the shoulders of the pastor before them, I think the future holds bigger and better and greater things.